السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار واتقوا يوما ترجعون فيه إلى الله ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون and fear a day when you will be returned to Allah, then every soul will be compensated for what it earned and they will not be treated unjustly. Allah Azza wa Jalla reminds us in the Quran. Where I work, we have an Arabic calligraphy exhibition. The Arabic calligraphy exhibition displays how Arabic as a language evolved after the revelation of the Quran. When the Quran was revealed, Arabic still existed. Arguably, it's one of the oldest languages in the world. It's one of the languages of the Semitic languages, from which even we have other languages like Aramaic and the Hebrew. And Aramaic, which is a sister language of Arabic, is the language with which Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, he used to speak and his people used to speak. So Allah Azza wa Jal revealed His book, the Injil, the Gospel, also known as the Bible, not the existing Bible, because that is not the Gospel of Jesus. The existing Bible is the work of tens and tens of different people, if not hundreds. And it's not the revelation that was revealed to Jesus, alayhi salatu wasalam, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, Ibn Maryam. And his language was Aramaic, so Allah, with His wisdom, He revealed the book and His testament in Aramaic, which does not exist today. So in our exhibition, we display the evolution of the Arabic language. And when we go back a couple of thousand years, we see that the Arabic language was something that was very crude. Of course, there was no pen and paper. Paper was not invented yet. And people used to, those who even knew how to read or write, the ones who would write would do it on, stones or barks of trees, on leaves, on dead skin of animals. And the language was not so well preserved, and it was very crude, even Arabic language. But when Quran was revealed, the whole face of the language changed in such a beautiful way that it became so rhythmic and so easy on the tongues of people. Even the Arabs were amazed by the revelation of the Quran. When Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to recite the Quran, today it does not affect our hearts. When the recitation of the Quran takes place, perhaps there are only a few people whom it touches, and they understand some words, and perhaps their hearts, they cry, and even their eyes become wet. And even those kuffar and mushrikeen from the Quraysh, who were the worshippers of idols, when they would hear Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and Arabic was their own language, they were very proud of it. They were very proud of this Arabic language. They were so proud that apart from these idols that they had all around Kaaba, they had about 360 idols placed around and inside Kaaba, amongst which Lat, Uzza and Manat were the three head gods for them. Again, the scholars, they say Lat, Uzza and Manat were nothing but names created for these idols, the three major gods that they created for them, from the names of Allah Azza wa Jal itself, which was some of His attributes. So they were so proud of the Arabic language that they would even hang their poetry and their poems and the words of Arabic around Kaaba. That's how proud they were. And when Quran was revealed, they were so amazed that they would say that this Muhammad, this Muhammad, this man, he is nothing but a sorcerer. He's a soothsayer. He is reciting incantations for us and, creating some kind of spells. But those whom Allah Azza wa Jal made their hearts soft, they understood that this couldn't be anything. None of our greatest poets or writers or Arabic linguists can come up with something like this. It cannot be anything but the words from our Creator. And then they submitted and became Muslims. And Allah Azza wa Jal, when people come to my office, they come from all around the world. All around the world, you can imagine. Because the city of Dubai, it's a phenomenon, especially for those people from the West, to realize the irony, no matter what misconceptions they have about the Middle East, Majority of the nationalities of the world are existing there. How is it possible if it was not a peaceful state? Majority of nationalities of the world, according to statistics, they live in Dubai. Nowhere else in the world. So when they come, we have this presentation, we give them a small introduction about Arabic calligraphy, because that's the only exhibition now existing, and our Islamic exhibition is under renovation. So we give them and we tell them that it's from the Quran that it actually evolved into such beautiful text and such beautiful designs that you see today. And then they say, but is it easy for us to learn Arabic? Because and some of them, they clearly, before even having read a single word in Arabic, because they've heard Arabic maybe, and they heard it on news, and Allahu Akbar, the only thing they know. When they hear Allahu Akbar, they start they're very scared. They think that something is going to happen now. And they ask, what is the meaning of this word, Allahu Akbar? These are the only few words they know. And they think it's extremely difficult. But then I have to make them realize, because Allah Azza wa Jal continuously says in the Quran, أَفَلَا يَتَذَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Don't you remember? Don't you reflect? Don't you reflect? And then I have to tell them, as a matter of fact, I can prove it to you, that Arabic language is actually one of the easiest, if not the easiest languages in the world. It is one of the easiest languages to learn. And they're saying, oh, you must be joking, not for us. And then I have to prove them. So what is the proof that we have that the Arabic language is so easy to learn? When you go to China, in the depths of China, you go to a town, you will find a new Muslim convert, and you will see that he started to learn Arabic, and he's also memorized verses of the Quran, and some of them have memorized the whole Quran. And they're reciting Arabic better than even Arabs sometimes. And when you go to some places in Africa, and you go in some places in Americas, in the south or the north, you find these people whom they thought that this is completely alien. Perhaps this language is not. They say, oh, we write from left to right, and you write in the opposite way. I said, no, you write it in the opposite way. We write it from right to left, and that is the right way. Because Arabic came first, not English and the other Latin languages. So Arabic, you will find it is the easiest languages. And this is why Allah Azza wa Jal, He preserved the best for the last. He preserved the best for the last, and He kept Arabic to reveal His final revelation to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And He chose among the Arabs a prophet who would be from the illiterates. In the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were about 60,000 people existing in Mecca, Medina, and Hijaz area. And from the 60,000, there were merely 50 to 60 who knew how to read or write. Completely illiterate society. And Allah Azza wa Jal raised from the illiterate, from the ummiyun, a prophet and a messenger who will become the beacon of light, a revelation that would be recited around the world 24/7. The language that would be spoken and recited, no matter which country you go to, no matter which city you go to. If you find a Muslim, you will find him reading and reciting Arabic. Now, perhaps he might not understand everything, but you will also find a lot of people who understand it very easily. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, and for us, the greatest proof of this is not what Allah has actually put as a sign in the whole of the universe, from all the horizons. He's put this as a sign in the horizons, in all the places of the world. If that is not sufficient for us, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He says, فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ بِلِسَانِكَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Muhammad and O people, as it is, the revelation was to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but eventually it's to us. O people, فَإِنَّمَا, verily, there is no doubt about it. فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ, that I have made this, the Quran, the Arabic Quran, the Quran which is in Arabic and no other language. Just like the Injil was revealed in Aramaic, and the Torah was revealed in the language of Musa alayhi salam, and the Psalms and the Zabur and all these languages, all these books of Allah were revealed to the people in their languages. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Arabic as the universal language, and He spread it across the world and made it so easy that He promises us. He promises us, and He tells us in the Quran, with His own words. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Creator, who created us, who knows us better than we do. He tells us from the above the heavens, from above His throne, He sends down this ayah to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to us, no matter which part of the world we are from. He tells us, فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ بِلِسَانِكَ. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, verily, there is no doubt about it. Innama. Indeed, I have made it very easy for you on your tongue. The only thing you need to do is make a little bit of effort. If you will not raise your step, you will not be able to move forward. So in order to move forward, you have to take at least one step. And step by step, you will be able to, because Allah has promised, فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ بِلِسَانِكَ, that I have made it so easy for you on your tongue, so that you may remember. Because if it was a difficult language like the English language, as a matter of fact, it's a very difficult language and very confusing. Some words, they mean the same in some places and completely opposite in some other place. Very difficult language. If we had made it revealed the Quran in, let's say, Sanskrit language, or Malayalam, or Bengali, or some dialect of some, African language, or Australian, it might not have been so easy. It would never have been so easy. Because it's the wisdom of Allah that He has revealed the Quran in one of the oldest languages in the world. And guess what? Because it's in one of the oldest languages of the world, some of our forefathers, whether we are Muslims or not, whether we were born in China or America, there were some of our forefathers who were definitely speaking Arabic. So it's even in our family chain, inshallah. So Allah chose this language, and He said He has made it easy. He has made it easy. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, He also said, indeed it is we. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. Indeed it is we, Allah, who have sent down this Quran and this revelation to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is us, it is we who will guard it from corruption. And this is the miracle of the Quran and the ahadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which hasn't been corrupted from 1,400 years and not disappeared, and it is still in the Arabic language. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِنَّهُ لَتَنزِيلُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ نزل به الروح الأمين على قلبك لتكون من المنذرين بلسان عربي مبين. And indeed the Quran is the revelation of the Lord of the world, of the universe. The trustworthy, from the trustworthy Spirit has brought it down, that is Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. From Angel Gabriel to the trustworthy Spirit has brought it down upon your heart, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you may be of one of the warners, that you may be one of those who warn people of the ayat of Allah in a clear Arabic language. In a clear Arabic language. You must have guessed that the topic of the khutbah today is about Arabic language. A lot of us, there is a brother that I know. He's been learning Arabic from about 10 or 12 years, or maybe more, and since he became Muslim. And he has not been able to perfect his tajweed. He's not been able to learn how to speak Arabic, but he does not stop going to the classes till today. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him. And this is all that matters to us, my brothers. The only thing that matters to us is we learn it for the sake of Allah. We learn it because His final revelation, the Quran, was in the Arabic language. And we try as hard as possible, because so that we may please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, "Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun." That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down the Quran in Arabic, an Arabic Quran, that you may understand. And it is because it is in Arabic, it is easy for people all around the world to understand. And how is it? Because if it was in many different languages, then there would be no reference point for anybody in the world to refer to. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also preserved it. Quran and Arabian غير ذي عوج لعلهم يتقون. It is an Arabic Quran without any deviance, that they might become righteous. And this is the point, my brothers. That it is a Quran in Arabic language without any deviance. A language that He has preserved. If you go around and look into the history of human beings and languages, you will find that each and every language, it actually changes from every 400 to 500 years. Every 400 to 500 years, you will find that languages, they completely change. And this is a phenomenon of Arabic language, that it is Allah, because of the Quran, through the Quran, He has preserved it for more than 1,400 years, and inshallah, till the end of days, till the day of judgment, it will be preserved in the most purest form, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. And Allah Azza wa Jalla also tells us, and we did not send any messenger except speaking in the language of his people to state clearly for them. Because the Quran was revealed in the Arabia, and you know the phenomenon of this Arabic language, my brothers, when the Quran, the biggest Quran competition takes place in Dubai, it is the biggest Quran competition. Majority of the winners, they are not from Arabic countries. This is a phenomenon, and that's because it is the Quran, it is the language that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preserved it with His hikmah and with the wisdom that He has, so that people may understand. And people may reflect, how is it that majority of the people who speak the best and clear Arabic are not from the Arabs? Imam Bukhari, he was not an Arab. Sheikh al-Albani, he was not an Arab. And they were one of the greatest ulama that have passed by in the history of Islam. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said that we did not send any messenger except speaking in the language of His people to state clearly for them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, Quran and Arabian غير ذي عوج لعلهم يتقون. It is an Arabic Quran without any deviance, that they might become righteous. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He gives us the understanding of His deen through the Arabic language, through the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us the taqwa that is required for us. He gives us the taqwa that is preserved in His Quran and is preserved in the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that we may be successful. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, first of all, I request the brothers to please move forward and close in the gaps. There are lots of brothers outside. Please move forward and close the gaps. Please move forward, brothers. Jazakumullah khair. And make it easy for your brothers behind you. So the conclusion that I wanted to make for this khutbah is that there is no doubt that Allah Azza wa Jal time and again has proven to us that how easy this language of Arabic is, and every one of us should learn at least the basics of it. From the Sahaba and the Tabi'un and the Atba Tabi'un and the righteous scholars and the Imams, they always advise the Muslims. You know, Islam is not a religion for the Arabia. If you see, majority of the Muslims in the world which follow the Quran, who follow the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they are actually from outside Arabia. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His divine wisdom, He knows that. And He's preserved His Quran, still preserved the Quran in Arabic and His religion in Arabic. And this is why the ulama, the tabi'un, the sahaba, they would urge the people, no matter which land they would go to. We know that the sahaba, they reached the banks and the coastal areas of India, for example, for trade, and Islam spread from there. Some people might misunderstand that Islam came through the Mughals. That was not. Islam was already in there. Islam had reached the subcontinent much before that. And some of the Sahaba had reached all the way to China. Some of the Sahaba had reached to Indonesia and these islands. This is why today we have the largest population of Muslims in Indonesia. And from those days, I'm talking about 1,300, 400 years back, from those days till today, you will find that people have learned Arabic. And Arabic has been spoken all around the world without any difficulty. And you will find that all these nations and people, like we have discussed earlier, and the Sahaba and the ulama, they have always urged the people to learn Arabic. Umar radiallahu anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab, who was the second caliph of Islam, he would say to the people, increase your knowledge in religion. Increase your knowledge in religion and learn Arabic. So if you want to increase your knowledge in religion, because if you are going to keep reading translations and you're not be able to go back to the source of the Quran and understand it, then you will never be able to reach the depths of Islam. You will never be able to reach the depth of the understanding. Of course, you might be able to learn and reach the depths. I would say it would be still very superficial compared to those who would learn this language and try to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran. Because many a times there are people who mistranslate, especially of the Orientalists, from the non-Muslims. There are lots of translations available of the Quran. There are lots of information and websites available in different languages to fool people in order to explain some verses of the Quran which is completely opposite from the intentions and from the reasons and the asbab that Allah Azza wa Jalla had actually sent it for. And they have been misquoted and misinterpreted and misrepresented in many books and in the media and on the websites in different languages, out of context in many places. Out of context. So it becomes very incumbent upon us, in order for us to understand our religion, in order even to understand our salah. The first thing that we do after having become a Muslim, the communication that we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even that, it is important for us that we learn the basics of Arabic language. The first few steps, because before you learn to walk or run, you must learn how to crawl. This is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created mankind. This is the way Allah has created, as a matter of fact, all His creation. They get mature only by taking steps. Little steps by little steps. And then you can take, leaps and bounds. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya Allah, we seek your favor to bless us with a beneficial knowledge. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-ilma al-nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiban wa amalan mutaqabbila. Ya Allah, we seek your favor to bless us with beneficial knowledge. Let our hearts be full of your gratitude and keep our tongue moist with your remembrance. Ya Allah, Bless us with good provision, accepted work, well-being in mind and body, and blessed living life and progeny. Ya Allah, be pleased with the rightly guided caliphs and all those who will follow them in righteousness till the day of judgment. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات عباد الله يرحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما ربنا فاغفر لنا ربنا آتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه على نعمته ويزدكم وأقيموا الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون